right, guys, you're about to launch into your best 30 days of your spiritual life. And the foundational part of your spiritual life is how you communicate with God. And we want over the next 30 days for you to communicate with God on a regular basis, better and longer than you ever have before. And the important thing is that this is personal communication to God. We call that prayer. But when we say prayer, a lot of people, they have all these different connotations of what that means. They have a whole different array of point of reference to what prayer is. To some people, that means reciting something that someone else has written. It could mean meditating. It could mean praying out loud, very loud. It could mean crying. It could be dancing. It could be singing. It could be all kinds of things. And guess what? They're all right. They're all awesome as long as they are you. As long as you are connecting and communicating with God and fulfilling the Lord's Prayer as you do them. So that's where I want you to really start on this My Best 30 Ever, is start with how you build your prayer time. Because let's be real honest. I mean, if you didn't do anything else the next 30 days, but if you just focus on communicating with God better than you have ever done before, this would be an amazing 30 days in your life. So make sure you set a goal that's personal, that's attainable, and that's challenging to use. Think about your daily schedule. Think about when you can pray, and think about how you can truly communicate with God in a way that would express the innermost feelings that you have, and that would also give time for God to speak to you. Because prayer is not all about just you blabbing for 10 minutes or 30 minutes or an hour. You need to allow God to speak to you, because prayer is communication. It's a two-way street. It's not just your dissertation or your monologue to God. It's actually a dialogue. So think about that. If you're new to prayer, you need to start with what Jesus laid out in Matthew the 6th chapter on the Sermon on the Mount. Jesus said, when you pray, pray in this way. And then he quotes what we all call the Lord's Prayer. And the Lord's Prayer is a template for us to use. It's awesome for us to quote the Lord's Prayer, and I often do that. But really what Jesus was trying to say, I believe, is here is a template for you to use when you pray. Here are the elements of prayer. And so on my blog here, I'll be showing you the elements of the Lord's Prayer and what they mean and how to pray them. Also, if you're new to prayer and you're a member of our church here, Promised Land, we have a CD here. It's $1, all right? That's just to cover the costs of the expense to make the CD. And really that doesn't cover the cost, but I want everybody to get one in their hands. If you could donate $1, we'll give you the CD. But basically what I did a couple years ago was I went into a studio and basically just prayed in a microphone for 30, 45 minutes and talked about prayer. And actually, you can actually hear what I say when I pray. And it will help kind of teach you the vocabulary of my prayer life and give you an example. Now let's make something very clear. You can't just go to your house and play the CD and count as your prayer time, all right? Or you can't just quote what I'm saying, but use it as an example. Same thing that Jesus did in Matthew 6 and 10 and 11, 12, and 13 there in the Lord's Prayer. But I think it'll help you out quite a bit. And you can just go out in the atrium before service and talk to the ladies at the kiosk, and they can get you my prayer CD. If you don't go to our church, write a comment here, let us know, send us an email, and we can get that CD for you. And hopefully I can get it online as a podcast before too long. But bottom line is, think about your prayer life. Start saying, how do I communicate to my wife? How do I communicate with my kids or my workers or my boss, my customers? How do I communicate? What am I communicating? What would I want to tell God if He was sitting right beside me? If God was sitting right beside me in the flesh, how would I speak to Him? what kind of inflection, what kind of tone of voice, what kind of tone of voice would I use if he was my president of the United States of America, if he was my best friend. All of these types of communication come out as you are exploring and delving into the world of prayer. It's just a vast and amazing world when you jump into prayer. And so check back here on the blog. We're going to be helping you explore different areas of prayer and different types of prayer throughout the next 30 days. We encourage you, pray, and pray consistently and link together communication toward God over the next 30 days, and just be amazed and ready for what God's going to do.